This is the story of how Jay-Z became what some now call the boogeyman of the music industry. To understand this story, we have to visit a couple of career moves made by Jay-Z.
This is treacherous. I'm telling you.
2003 was the beginning of the end for Rockefeller, and the moment many began to side-eye Jay-Z, the businessman. In the media, Rockefeller seemed to be unstoppable. They were just coming off an amazing run in 2002 with the success of Cameron's debut album, Come Home With Me, which sold over 1 million copies in the release of the film State's Property. 2003 looked like it was supposed to continue with the same momentum. Rockefeller signed multiple acts like MOP and ODB in response to Jay-Z's talk of retirement.
Sometimes, why are you retiring? I just felt like, what more can I say? Like, achieve as a solo artist. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in the comfort zone as far as making the music. I can make music. Like, I know how to structure a song. You know what I'm saying? I know how to make a B chorus during the verse. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I know all the little tricks. I know when people are going to sing along. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know how to put that in the song. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So when you're doing that so much, it's so hard. Mm-hmm. You know, I've been doing that 10 albums straight. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? As well as collaborations and soundtracks, things like that. You get in the comfort zone. I'm a young guy, you know what I'm saying? I still got to challenge myself in life. I got to step outside my comfort zone. That's just part of being alive.
The Diplomats released their debut album, Diplomatic Immunity, and Jay-Z's Black Album was the cherry on top. But under the surface, cracks were starting to form. Rumors began to swirl about ongoing frictions between Dame and Jay. At the time, both parties denied it, but people closest to them alleged that the tensions had been there since Big Pimpin'.
When people see that, it's drifting apart, we always been polar opposites, you know what I'm saying? But when people see us drifting apart or doing different things like that, it leads to like talking, and then that just grows and it grows. And but I mean, I'm the kid's, I'm his son's godfather. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother. Me and him, we work. This thing happened, and we both realized our dreams together, so we gonna always have that bond. So it's not a beef, it's just that it's just growing.
Matters only got worse in December 2004. Jay had invited Dame to dinner so they could finalize the deal to sell Rockefeller to Def Jam for $10 million. All parties involved were supposed to walk away with $3.3 million, so it seemed. Allegedly, Dame was unaware that Jay was walking away with more than $3.3 million. He was also becoming the CEO and president of Def Jam too, which in a roundabout way still made him the owner of Rockefeller.
He's worth an estimated $340 million, but there's far more to Sean Corey Carter from the Brooklyn Projects than rhyme and rhythm. Jay-Z set up his own label, Rockefeller Records, and struck a distribution deal with Def Jam in the 90s. Now he's CEO and president of both.
I wouldn't say it's less fun. I think it's needed. I think it's needed for, you have to let, I like to say that the inmates running the asylum now, you have to let people infiltrate the system in order to correct it.
As the story goes, Dame asked for the Rockefeller name. Jay said he'll let Dame hold on to the name if Dame gave him back the Masters to Reasonable Doubt, which Dame refused to do so. In an interview some years later, Dame said, "It's business, but we were always supposed to be about more than business, Jay especially." This was the beginning of the end for Dame, but the birth of Jay-Z the Tycoon. Now let's talk about Brooklyn. Better yet, the Barclays.
I asked for two things out of my partners in ownership, is that we name the New Jersey Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, and the second one is that I opened it with the concert.
In the mid-2000s, Jay had become a minority stake owner of the New Jersey Nets.
As one of the investors and one of the members of the ownership group, you don't have much interaction with the team, but you're a huge basketball fan. Tell us about the genesis of how you got involved with this group.
It pretty much fell into my lap, but you can't get involved in something like that. Like, I had no idea that I could be a part of something like that. Someone came to me with the idea, and it just went from there.
He invested $1 million into the franchise. The $1 million investment would literally pay dividends, but along the way, it would cost Jay. In 2003, Bruce Ratner's vision for the Nets was very clear. Brooklyn. His recruitment of Jay-Z was no coincidence. It was strategic. The Barclays Center was a part of the Atlantic Yards project, a $4.9 billion project that was supposed to build the arena and multiple market rate residual buildings that were supposed to be affordable.
On the island, Bruce Ratner is chairman and CEO of Forest City Ratner Companies. Of course, he is one of the owners of the New Jersey Nets, and he is the developer of the Barclays Center Sports Arena. Hey, Bruce, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, John. How are you?
I am well, thank you. Appreciate your time this morning. You are well ensconced in Brooklyn. It's been a long process to get the arena over the Atlantic Yards up and running. When have you started construction is my question.
We have. We've been in construction for about a month, and in 2 years we will have a brand new arena.
All right, there's more to this than just an arena.
Yes, there is. There's the arena, and there's housing, both affordable housing and market housing, market rate housing, and it's the architecturally beautiful project, and of course the arena brings the nets and circuses and all kinds of concerts and entertainment.
And this project offers tremendous opportunity for the borough of Brooklyn with affordable housing and, as was said, 15,000 union construction jobs. Oh, we got to hear a little bit more for the union construction jobs. That's what we want to hear. It also offers thousands of permanent and sustainable jobs. This is what Brooklyn needs. And you know what? It's time that Brooklyn hosts the home of a world-class arena for the Brooklyn Nets.
What came next was something completely different. The neighborhoods and surrounding areas became gentrified. Many civic promises like affordable housing have yet to be fulfilled. The biggest problem with the Atlantic Yards project was and is the use of eminent domain and the pure corruption that happened to even get the project passed through.
Brooklyn residents protested today at the site of Barclays Center, where inside the official groundbreaking took place. The protest started outside of Freddy's Bar, one of the buildings taken over by eminent domain for the project. There, they held their own groundbreaking ceremony.
I, Marty Markowitz, president of the Borough of Brooklyn, do hereby proclaim Thursday, March 11, 2010, the destruction of Brooklyn's sole day in Brooklyn, USA.
They want to demolish it. We're saying no. We're saying we're going to make a stand. If you check inside, we put chains on the bar, and we're encouraging people who want to buy handcuffs and handcuff themselves in.
The Atlantic Yards was originally supposed to be a lot for affordable housing in this neighborhood. Instead, residents are being pushed out, like Shabnam Merchant, who bought her home here in 2003.
Jay became the face of this scheme. To be clear, he wasn't the developer, but he was the mascot. He got on TV and told the world the project had created thousands and thousands of jobs, when in fact the number was something like 370 in 2011. The story through major editorial outlets would paint the picture like the Barclays Center was a win for Jay-Z. Headlines would say things like Jay-Z Christians Barclays or emotional Jay-Z rocks Brooklyn arena he helped get built. The story was all about how Jay-Z rocked Brooklyn, but never really about how he rocked Brooklyn. Investors like Bruce got to ride off into the sunset, with Brooklyn's finest paying the ultimate cost. Till this day, 22 years later, the project remains unfinished with only the Barclays and gentrification to show for it. Jay-Z became a richer man after selling off his stakes in the Brooklyn Nets. He made an estimated $2.5 million off the deal, and the rest is history.
Atlantic Yards promised affordable housing, and 20 years later, hundreds of units are still missing, with no real consequences for the developers.
Jay-Z's hands in sports didn't stop after he sold his shares in Brooklyn. It continued into one hell of a story. This chapter in his tycoon saga is complicated, just like the rest. The only way I can really describe it is Colin Kaepernick. 2016 police brutality incidents had skyrocketed. Alton Sterling, Philando Castile, and Charles Kinsey, to name a few. America was on fire and the people demanded change. Here comes Colin Kaepernick. He had decided that he had enough. He refused to stand during the national anthem and Star Spangled Banner as protest for senseless acts of police violence against black people. When asked about this form of protest, Colin stated,
"Specifically, what would you like to see change in order for you to stand?"
There's a lot of things that need to change. One specifically is police brutality. There's people being murdered unjustly and not being held accountable. Cops are getting paid leave for killing people. That's not right. That's not right by anyone's standard.
The backlash was immediate. It went from police brutality to the flag overnight. Media pundits and fans alike changed the narrative. It was strategic, just like Bruce Ratner's recruitment of Jay-Z in 2003. President Trump went as far as to urge owners to fire Colin after he got elected. After Colin's 2016 season with the 49ers, he never played football again.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
Some speculate that Kaepernick wasn't good anymore, or they speculate that it was collusion, and to tell you the truth, it might be a mix of both. But one thing we know for sure is that in 2017, Colin Kaepernick has sued the NFL.
Tonight, former 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick taking on the NFL, accusing the league and team owners of colluding to keep him sidelined.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars.
Kaepernick had filed a grievance against the NFL for collusion. He claimed that the owners had been working behind the scenes to keep him out of the game. The league tried to get the case dismissed, but the motion got denied. Fast forward 2 years, in November 2019, the league had settled with Colin for an undisclosed amount, which led to Kaepernick withdrawing his grievance. Now let's get to how Jay-Z plays a part in all of this. During the NFL and Colin Kaepernick saga, everyone wasn't pro-NFL. In fact, it made many people bring up the league's racial history. It was an uncomfortable conversation, but mainly bad press. Jay-Z was among the people who seemed to be anti-NFL. In September 2017, Jay took to the stage at a music festival to dedicate his song The Story of OJ to Colin, stating, "I want to dedicate this song to Colin Kaepernick tonight." He said, "I want to dedicate this song to anyone who was ever held back and overcame whatever it was." At the time, Kaepernick remained unsigned by any NFL teams. Jay's support didn't end there. In the same month, it was reported that Jay had turned down the Super Bowl. The NFL emphatically denied the rumor, stating that they made no decisions yet on the performance.
Super Bowl is coming up, and Jay-Z has reportedly turned down an offer to perform at the halftime show. Now, we don't know if any of this is actually true. Someone from the NFL told Pro Football Talk, "No decisions have been made on the performers, and we are not going to speculate on particular artists." But, of course, there are theories that Jay might have turned this down because of his support for Colin Kaepernick.
The next month, Jay would wear Colin Kaepernick's jersey on SNL. October, things heated up when Jay addressed the NFL protests during his press tour for his album 444, saying, "I want y'all to understand, when people are kneeling and putting their fist up and doing what they're doing, it's not about the flag," he told the crowd. "It's about justice, it's about injustice, and that's not a black or white thing, that is a human issue." In 2018, Jay addressed the NFL again on his song Ape Shit off his collaborative album with Beyonce. He raps the following.
"I said no to the Super Bowl. You need me, I don't need you."
In August 2019, it was announced that Jay-Z and Roc Nation were partnering with the NFL. This was messy for more reasons than one. Let's start off with the fact that just a year prior, Jay had contacted Jermaine Dupri to talk him out of working with the NFL on the same exact deal, with the exception of the Super Bowl inclusion.
JD, caught a lot of flack for being a part of the NFL situation last year, and I said that something like Jay-Z made a phone call to Jermaine and told him not to do it. Basically in a nutshell, that's what was said.
The partnership in question was consulting the league on live performances and working with the social justice initiative Inspire Change. It was also reported that Jay contacted Jermaine saying, "How deep are you in with the NFL?" expressing that might not be a good idea. At the press conference on August 14th, Jay and Roger would deliver speeches that would reinforce what this was really about.
We talked about this, we talked about a variety of issues, and I think when we first met, we talked about entertainment and how we do that. But the number one thing we want to is impact. That we can have an impact together, and that we can do some really positive things in our communities. And to go to Jay's point, we listened to our players. We understood what our players were saying. And we created a platform of which to help drive change in communities that Colin has raised and that other players have raised. And this partnership, in addition to the entertainment aspect and bringing football and music together, is going to help us make even greater change. And we call it protest to progress, right? We need to make progress.
Roger would dance around the optics and Jay-Z would be Jay-Z. While Jay-Z viewed his partnership as progress, others saw it very differently. Colin's girlfriend Nessa even called out Jay-Z for lying about speaking to Kaepernick about the deal, saying this is a lie. Colin never spoke to Jay-Z and the NFL ahead of the deal being done. They never included him in any decisions. August 30th, Colin took to his Twitter to post a picture with the caption, "Reading always gives me clarity." What they seek is not an end to oppression, but the transfer of oppressive apparatus into their own hands. Robert L. Allen, Black Awakening, in Capitalist America, 1969. This was a shot at Jay-Z, but the shots didn't end there. Colin's attorney, Mark Guerreros, went and talked to ABC, saying that the deal crossed the intellectual picket line. The deal was already done prior to any conversation Kaepernick had with Jay-Z, and he certainly didn't have any conversation with the NFL. Jay-Z was personally quiet in this manner, But his company, Roc Nation, began to plant stories about Colin Kaepernick like he never really was interested in re-entering the NFL.
This is what happens, at least in this one instance, because I was there. I know for sure, I'm not saying it was Jay-Z. I can't say that Jay-Z did anything, right? But I know for sure, that Roc Nation was seeding negative stories about Colin Kaepernick during the time that he was really in traction with Jay-Z. For sure. I've told this story before, I'll tell it again. This is another story where I give Harvey a ton of credit, right? So I'm at my desk one time. This is after the Roc Nation NFL deal has been announced. And give Harvey more credit than just with how he played this. I'll give him credit for the fact that he goes, hey, I just got this information on the phone. I know who was on the other end of the phone. I know who Harvey's Roc Nation contact is, right? I just got this information on the phone. And all of these things about Colin Kaepernick is what I just got told, right? He comes over to me and he tells me all of these things. And it was the whole Colin Kaepernick doesn't really want to play narrative. Like Colin Kaepernick didn't go to this training, or he sabotaged himself this way or whatever. Actually, it was the same thing that people had started to hear on First Take. And it was a narrative that was getting around because either it was coming from, what I thought at first is that either it was coming from players that had played with him or people that knew things. I don't know, but I had heard it before, right? And Harvey comes over to me and he says all of this stuff and he's like, yeah, did you know that he actually doesn't really want to play? And I looked at Harvey and I said, look, I don't think that we here at TMZ should be getting in the middle of what's going on between Colin Kaepernick and Jay-Z. I think if we run what essentially was a hit piece on Colin Kaepernick, I don't think we have the cultural cachet to do that. Number one, to insert ourselves into the middle of that situation. And also, I think it's choosing a side in something that is literally at the core of a culture, of a black cultural discussion right now. I don't think we should do it.
The narrative stuck because Kaepernick had opted out of a sanctioned NFL tryout in Atlanta at the last minute for his own workout at a high school that was open to the media.
You snubbed your nose at the NFL. You snubbed your nose at Roc Nation. You snubbed your nose at the bunch of officials who showed up. 8 of them showed up to Riverdale. 2 of them left, probably to catch flights before the workout was even over. Then you show up and you give your speech and spiel to the media that you wanted present, but you didn't take any questions and all of this stuff. You just look at it and it reeks of a PR stunt, a PR campaign, the kind of thing that you accused the NFL of doing.
Colin walked right into the trap, but the game wasn't over yet. While Colin was getting bad press, Jay-Z was getting even better press. TMZ reported that it was rumored that Jay-Z was becoming a part owner of an NFL team, saying he wanted to continue to be a change agent for the NFL. As of 2025, Jay-Z doesn't own an NFL team, but he does own the title of boogeyman according to a few entertainers. Which leads me to one question. Is Jay-Z a boogeyman or a tycoon?